What's going on, everybody? EricRayweather back here with another Madden 21 title update. Now, yesterday we posted a video about the franchise updates that are live right now in today's update, but we also have some gameplay updates on top of that and some other things like we thought we would have. So yesterday we got franchise information. Today we're getting all of the information, and the update is live right now with all of these changes. And if you're new to the channel and you never want to miss out on these types of update videos or Madden tips, make sure to subscribe, turn the bell icon on so that you don't miss these videos when they go live. Alright, so let's get into some of the gameplay updates. So one of the first issues here is they fixed an issue causing the QB to freeze after flipping gun split close play action plays while also hot routing the halfback. Now, I had seen this happen a little bit in some online games. Is obviously one of those like weird bugs. It wasn't anything where you could really take like super advantage of anything, at least that I could see. It was just a bug in the game that needed to be addressed. I think it's actually been in the game for quite some time, and they're just now finally getting around to it in March, but that issue has now been fixed. They also fixed an issue causing some QBs to repeat their pre-play walk to the line, getting set in the formation animation twice. Now, let me know if you've seen that, because I don't recall seeing that happen, seeing the QB repeat their animation multiple times. Let me know if you've seen that, because that one sounded like news to me, but whatever that is, it's now fixed. Now, they also fixed an issue preventing some abilities from being equipped from players on the Pro Bowl roster. So this was definitely another issue that was going around where people could not equip these abilities on players that were on the Pro Bowl roster for some reason. It's just another one of those weird bugs that just somehow finds its way into the game. Nobody knows how it got there. Nobody knows why it's here, but that has now been fixed as well. They also fixed an incorrect route shown in the play art for the play gun tight double zig under. I believe that's been in the game for like multiple years, where they always show the route as like backwards or something like that. I know you can find this in the Las Vegas Raiders playbook, for example, the gun tight double zig under. They always show the route backwards, and this was in the game last year. I don't know if it was in the game the year before, but definitely last year this was the thing, and they're just now getting around to fixing that. So not really a big deal, but just kind of a little on-screen type issue. They also fixed an issue sometimes causing the receiver to run back toward the line instead of breaking out when running a zig route. Now, I've definitely seen this, and this is super annoying, especially because zig routes are one of the few things in the game that actually do a good job at beating man coverage. And as most of you probably know, if you've been playing the game at all this year, man coverage is super powerful. It's probably the best that it's been in quite a while, and it's pretty easy to just play man coverage and have good defense in this game. Well, zig routes are one of the few routes that actually do a good job at creating separation. But the problem with that was, like it said, it would run back towards the line of scrimmage too often, so you would wind up getting less yards or even getting no yards on a play where you probably should have got 5+ yards. So I am actually really glad to see that fix, because now that opens up the zig route a little bit more. Like, it was good, but it wasn't always reliable enough. They also fixed an issue with hit sticks not tracking properly for abilities using hit stick accumulation for end zone criteria. Example, the Avalanche X Factor. So apparently, if your hit sticks were not, they weren't adding up essentially. Like, you would land the amount of hit sticks you would need for the Avalanche to be unlocked, and that's a big deal. You know, if you unlock the X Factor, you're going to force fumbles on those hit sticks. So if you've completed the criteria to get that Avalanche activated, well, you want Avalanche to be activated. Personally, at this point, I think most people would probably rather abilities just go away, but if they're going to be here, they need to work properly, so they did fix that one as well. Now, there's also another issue here that they fixed. It says here they fixed an issue allowing punts to frequently get blocked by an AI-controlled rusher when lined up inside the 5-yard line. This has been a huge bug all year. It's awful. This is only for current gen, so the other things that I just talked about are for both current and next gen Madden, but this glitch right here, I believe, was only a glitch on current gen, meaning Xbox One, PS4. Essentially, if you were inside the 5-yard line, you could never punt the ball, because when you're inside the 5-yard line, almost every time the AI-controlled rusher would just be able to block the kick. It was a big glitch in the game. So, like, you know, you're backed up in the 5-yard line and it's a 4th down, you want to punt, you can't even punt because you're going to probably give up a safety or a touchdown. So it was a huge exploit in the game, because you were essentially forced to go for it if you were stopped inside that 5-yard line because of this glitch. They also added a dev note here saying, to address this issue, we tuned the logic of the rusher that was blocking the kick. The AI was timing the dive perfectly, and not in a situation where the player rushing the punter would lay out and dive due to the blocker between him and the punter. So I am glad to see that fixed. That is actually one of the things that was at the top of my list that needed to be fixed in this update. There's a bunch of things, but that was one of the biggest ongoing bugs in the game. Now, that's it for the gameplay updates, and that honestly upsets me a little bit, because we have not had a gameplay update in about a month. They've been doing them once a month the last few months, and there's so many other things that need to be addressed in this game, particularly deep third zones. They patched these a little bit earlier in the year because they were giving up a lot of one-play touchdowns. They were not playing deep really or smart aggressively enough, and the thing is, they did make that aspect of them better when they patched them. Yes, the one-play touchdowns that worked before weren't as consistent, but as always with Cover 3, there's tons of different one-play touchdowns you can find in the game. It's not very hard. So while it did take some away, there were still some new ones that popped up that were just as good. But meanwhile, by making those deep thirds not give up the one-play touchdowns as much, now they're awful on the sideline. They give up corner routes all day long, and we know corner routes have been a thing all this time in Madden. We do have the zone drop adjustments from purple zones and stuff like that that do help, but it's not logical to do that every play because then you're just giving up so much underneath, you know? The deep zone should be able to play to the boundary. They shouldn't just be worried about what's over the top. They should be worried about protecting the boundary as well, and they're maybe the worst that they've been, you know, ever at protecting the boundary right now, so they didn't do anything to address that. There's still other abilities in the game that aren't working properly or aren't tuned properly that didn't address, so this makes me wonder if there is going to be one last update. It is possible because last year for Madden 20, they did do a title update in April, so that is definitely still possible, but I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't do another update either. It could really go either way, but I hope they do because for the ones that are going to still be playing the game, there's still some other things that really need to get fixed. Now, there's also some franchise updates. Now, we covered the bulk of them yesterday. I will link that video below in the description and in the pinned comment where I deep dive into everything that changed for franchise with this update. Also, there's a leak in that video for Madden 22 franchise. A new feature or a feature that they're bringing back was leaked that we put in that video as well. But basically, if you want a quick synopsis, they added the new league history option that's going to show you all the people that won the Super Bowls, the awards, and all that good stuff. Something that should have been in franchise mode. It's like a no-brainer, but for whatever reason, it wasn't there. They took it out. They did bring that back. They also did a bunch of stuff to the trade logic to supposedly make trade logic finally better. I cover all that in yesterday's video, so if you want to check that out, it's a lot to cover again in this video, so just go check that video out. But they also fixed a couple of other things that have to do with franchise. It says here that they fixed an issue where the backlash ability was called Pass Lead Elite, so for some reason it was just called a whole different ability, so they fixed that. They also fixed the naming of the Seahawks Stadium to Lumen Field for new franchises, so I guess they changed the name of the Seahawks Stadium. That's news to me. I didn't know that they did that, so they did add those little things in there, I guess, to make them more accurate. As far as Ultimate Team goes, it just literally says various UI fixes. Now, that might sound like nothing, but Ultimate Team has had so many UI problems this year where you can't buy players from you know, the power-up path anymore. You can't make changes from your lineup without it kicking you out of the whole mode, so I'm hoping that's what that means. I hope this various UI fixes isn't just something that's super bland and, you know, doesn't really mean anything. I hope they actually fix the issues where it was literally kicking you out of the mode all year long, by the way. For those people that think Ultimate Team gets all the love, no, these issues have been all year long, just kicking people out of the mode over and over and over for trying to do simple things from the menu screen. So I would have liked to see them list exactly what they did here, but hopefully that's what these various UI fixes mean. But that's honestly it for this update. I'm a little underwhelmed. You know, they did follow through on the stuff they said they would do for franchise, but in terms of gameplay, I definitely thought we would see a lot more than this. Still no update for X Factors and abilities, still no playbook updates. And they promised to do so much of that this year, so that is really a letdown. And at this point, if they do it next month, it's like, it's April, man. Like, that's so late to be doing that no one's even going to be that happy about it. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, found it informative. As always, like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.